Hey guys, Marco here, SoCal PWC Fishing. Welcome back. And for the new folks, welcome. Thanks for joining us. I have a maintenance video for you guys today. I know, it's not even remotely fishing related, but we have to take care of our boats, of our skis, of the WaveRunner, so that we can, do what we do, get out to the fishing grounds, no worries. You take care of your equipment. It'll take care of you. And so this is, a part of the initial 10-hour maintenance. This is the most important one because I think it's mostly an oil change. You have to check the spark plugs, and Yamaha calls it the steering master check, which is basically just looking for free play. I'm going to go ahead and post the description down here, and I'll also post a screenshot of the service manual and the maintenance interval. So basically we're doing the 10-hour service today. Just wanted to walk you guys through the tools and the parts you're gonna need. It's very straightforward. If you've done oil changes before, this is pretty much the same thing with a huge, with a little bit of a difference. The biggest thing, obviously, is you see this behemoth over here. This is basically it's like a fluid extractor. The one I have, it's called the OEM Tools. I'll post a link for that. Not sponsored by these guys. I've just had this. I used it before for oil changing generators and other things without a dedicated drain valve. This is very useful for that. Bleeding brakes, instead of, just basically all this does, it's basically a suction. So you can suction all that. And so out of all these things, this might be an investment for the folks that don't have it. But all it takes is one oil change and it pretty much pays for itself. There are different versions. You definitely don't have to go with this one. There are other ones out there. I know Yamaha even sells a kit that has a version of this with the oil filter and with the oil. So look into that if you have that. I'm basically just using what I already have, even the oil. What I really just don't have is the filter, and I'll post a link on that. So yeah, basically that's what you need. The fluid extractor, the genuine oil filter. I'll post all these links. Definitely the oil. Yamaha on their site and on the service manual calls for a 10W30. We could spend a whole video on about oil, but basically I'm just using what I have. You definitely want to stick with full synthetic. Because just for the properties, just the high revs of jet ski engine. And so this is what I have, and so this is basically what I'm using. I know some things are labeled like high mileage, but just do your research and go with what's in your price range. There's just a wide range of when it comes to oils, and like I said, it's a huge topic on its own. So just do your research. But I recommend just going full synthetic. And also I have basically the flush valve. You connect this to your hose. You probably already know what this is if you've owned PWCs before. And I also have the oil filter removal tool, which basically just goes on top of the oil filter, and it has a hole here for a ratchet, and also of course a funnel that makes the pouring in the oil so much easy. I'll post links to everything here, and yeah, let's get right into it. It's coming from your tap. Plug it in, and we'll turn on the engine. See, guys? Alright guys, so after warming up the engine, we're just going to go ahead and start to vacuum out the oil. So just open this. As you can see, I'm just curious to take a look at the oil. It's still not that bad at 12 hours. It's not as sludgy as they would think. This is just the dipstick. I'm just curious, I want to see it again. Just to show you guys how good or bad the oil can be after approximately 12 hours. Still not that bad, guys. So it's good. I suggest doing it at 12 because you want to get all that contaminants out. And so yeah, so let's just go ahead and put this the suction tool that you might have different tips. In this case, I chose the one that I know will fit the dipstick. And then so just go ahead and push that in there. You should not feel any resistance. There should be just slight resistance due to the just nature of, but when you do feel like a mechanical stop, that should be it. And then you should start getting oil from this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and
introduce more vacuum. As you can see, oil coming in. Good, so we'll just give that a few more minutes just to give it time.
All right, guys, once the oil is all suctioned out, now it's time to loosen the filter. And so if you, let me just zoom out again. If you look inside your ski on the left side, the port side, or straight down, this is the filter unit. So go ahead and loosen that with your wrench. It's hard for me to show you while I'm working, so I'm just gonna show you now, and then all it is, it's a counterclockwise turn, so that way, if you're looking at it from the top, you twist that way. And just go ahead and unscrew that, take it all out. It's gonna start leaking, so try to do it fast, and then as you're pulling out, lift it up, that way it's less spills on inside your bilge, and also put some rags down there. All right, let's do that now. All right, guys, so this is the oil filter just removed. It's hard to tell, but it's filled with oil, so be careful around there. Make sure you have something to catch that with. In my case, I'm just gonna put it in an oil pan, flip it over, and then dispose of it at your nearest oil recycling. Usually big box stores like AutoZone and Walmart, they'll take it. Okay, guys, so here is the new filter. Before you install this, after you unbox the filter, go ahead and just dip your finger in some of that oil that you have, the new oil you have, and then just go ahead and coat the threads and also coat the gasket with oil. That just helps seal everything, and it just it makes for a better seal versus without, because this filter has been sitting in the box. You want to just put that extra lubrication plus the seal. That way you condition the seal, and it makes a good condition the gasket makes a good seal. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and install this. I'm gonna try to show you guys how to do it with just my two hands. All right, so after a complete utter failure of trying to film while screwing that in, I just turned off the camera and basically just screwed that filter in. You want it nice and tight, and then once it's nice and snug, maybe a quarter turn clockwise to just give it that extra snug. I'll post the torque spec for that, but if you've been wrenching for a while, you'll know when it's good to go, military style. All right, and then so next step now is to fill the engine with some oil. All right, guys. So when adding the oil, I noticed when I opened this oil fill for the first time, it's really shallow in there. So unlike trucks or some of other motorcycles, this funnel can kind of sit deeper inside the engine. And so just be careful, because at least with the funnel I have, see how not a lot of the tip of the funnel can get inside the engine, so it's sitting precariously. So just be careful when you're filling it, and if you have this type of funnel. Also, I'm kind of winging it. After doing this a while, I know that a 5 quart jug of oil like this, I know how much to put to approximately 3.6. I know how heavy it is for 3. So if you're kind of new to this, you might want to just, measure out 3.6. If I'm not mistaken, I'll post it here right on the video, how much oil you'll need with after you do a full-on oil change with the filter. So let's go ahead and just pour this in. All right, so it's oil is filled, cover is cleaned, buttoned everything up. So I'm gonna go ahead and dip this dipstick. I'm trying to make sure you guys see right here. Okay, so ideally you would want it in between the 2 dots right there. So normally, let's go ahead and dip it. It will be a little bit high, but don't be alarmed, just because what happens is once you run it for a little bit, and we're gonna run it for around a minute, give the oil chance to circulate, and what happens is the oil filter gets filled and you should be around that sweet spot. Right now it's looking pretty perfect, guys. I don't know if you can see it, the glare and the reflection, but it's sitting right at the middle. And so that's what you want. We're gonna go ahead and run the ski now to fill up the oil filter and circulate some of that new oil, and we'll go from there. We're gonna take another measurement after we run it. All right, so after running it, let's go ahead and check it. I like to give it a nice clean before I dip the stick again. And it should be, it's a little bit on the low side, but that's because I went and tested it right after it drained for a little bit. It should be on, but you're still within spec, so that's good, right? And that should be it, guys. After that, you're good to go. I'm just gonna button everything up and head on out tomorrow. Thanks, guys, for joining me for this one. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any questions, and I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Be safe out there in the water.